So the last video, I thought that I needed to change out that water pump. Well, I was going to need to change out the water pump, but the pipe that was broke off in there, I was able to salvage and get it out. So I saved myself a whole lot of heartache and a lot of time by getting that out. I got me a flathead screwdriver and was able to keep wobbling it. Before it was stuck in there pretty good, but I was able to get some chips up underneath the metal without the metal falling back into the water pump. So that was the challenge. At first, I didn't think it was going to be able to be done without pushing that metal back into the water pump. But right now, I've been putting it back together. Like I said, getting kind of late. But I got the throttle body clean. I'm getting ready to put it back on. This is pretty much the last part. I've got that seal to put on and then just torque these bolts up and put a few more things back on the car. You know, a lot of these things really don't take that long to do, but when I have them apart, sometimes I have a tendency to be a perfectionist. Try and find out about this, find out about that before, if I need to clean certain things before I put it back together. Because, I mean, you never know. You got a car apart, you might as well do what you got to do, because you don't want to have to take it all back apart again. At least I don't want to take it all back apart again. But I'm hoping to get this put back on and get it at least a start on it. So let's see what happens and see if I can beat the nightfall. I've got this buttoned up here in the front. Got our connections, electrical connections, hose connections in the back. I think you can see that. And we gotta replace this throttle body seal right here. Clean out a little bit. Oh, it's way back together. Boom, got that intake in. Pretty much the last step. Make all the connections, seal them up. I gotta weasel this one in here because he redid this hook over here. So to get it nice and snug and seal it up there. We gotta make sure it's in there really good. I think that's locked in. These things all lock in with these little tabs, so you gotta make sure they're locked in. Hopefully get a little bit of cleaner throttle body response out of these things. Temperature sensors down here. Nothing else is loosened up. Some things cleaned up. Remember when I talked about how nasty this was down here? If you don't remember, watch other videos. Double checking connections here. We need to tighten that up. That's about it. Got the car running. We're taking it out for a test drive. A couple of spins, a couple of clips. See if it overheats. I know it probably needs some coolant. I got some at the house, but I'm gonna see how much or what temperature it runs at. It's not making any intake noises, so I think we're gonna be good. But little slow test drive, little slow ride. Ain't even kicked on the fan yet. Got a half a tank. Guess you know how it's done. So we're gonna take this one the rest of the way around the block and head home. catch a ride. So it's just a little teaser. The throttle's a whole lot better. The idle on this car is a whole lot better after that cleaning. I thought it was something more, but turned out it's doing really well now. So we got a little bit of response. Not any on the pedal like I wanted, but not like it was on my Mustang. Of course, this one is, you know, I guess you call it a connection, a Bluetooth connection, or whatever you want to call it, with the pedal and the throttle body. It's not a wire, so you got to really push it to the floor to get this thing to respond. I'd rather have some response more at the top of the pedal, because I don't want to have to be mashing so hard on a pedal. Not in the car like this. It'll get you in trouble. So I am going to wrap this video up. It may have been a short video, but then I'm going to split these videos up into like 2 or 3. So if you get 2 or 3 vlogs, they're kind of the same thing. They're kind of all coming from the same day, because I worked pretty hard. I worked hard yesterday on the car. Had a little fun. Afterwards, played some video games. Also, worked on the car today. I got a late start. That's why I'm getting finished late. But this right here is the pipe that broke off into the water pump. That's what caused all the problems. Now, I could go into a long story about me taking the car to the shop, but the short story is they took the car and they pressure tested it because I knew there was a leak, and they found where the leak was coming from. They quoted me an $800 and something price and told me some of the parts were 4 and 5 times much as what they normally are. And I knew what they were telling me, so I asked and I bargained for them to do a couple more things when they took the car apart. Now, it came to my mind a couple of days later that I wouldn't be able to tell if they'd done those other things, and they probably wouldn't do it because it would cost them more money. But I didn't spend over $200 in parts to fix the car. It took more time than anything. Of course, I took my time, had an issue with the weather, waiting out on the weather. Another thing is, in the place where I took it to, they're supposed to keep it inside overnight and over the weekend. And I believe I dropped it off on a Thursday or Friday. And I went to check the car on a Saturday to see what they'd done with the car, and it was parked just out back. And I really wasn't happy with that. If they were telling me the story about the parts and then telling me a story about storing it, and the trust was just broken. And like I said, I probably could have spent that amount on it because it would save me a lot of time, and the other things that they were doing, it would save me a whole lot of time. Plus, I knew they had the headroom to do it, but it may not have been done like I wanted, and it'd have been more excuses, and I'd have been mad and not wanting to pay the price. And you got to be careful when you take cars to people to work on, because there are a lot of scammers out there. And it's not so much as I think they're scammers when you take the car to them and they say, well, it needs this, it needs that, because a lot of people don't follow their maintenance schedule on their cars. So you will have a lot of problems go wrong from 65 to 80 to 100,000 miles on your cars. Your car comes with a handbook and it tells you the maintenance schedule, how many miles or how many months or how much time in between each maintenance. So follow the maintenance schedule in your books, and you'll most likely you have less problems like the overheating or anything like that. But this thing on the tube, there's really no way of gauging that, because it was something that was done when I already bought the car, and who knew that was broke off in there. I'm just glad it didn't happen to me on the road and it spewed coolant everywhere and I was stranded, because that type of repair wouldn't have been an overnight repair in a shop, because it's not just a regular part, it's a specialty part. But anyway, thanks for tuning in and subscribing. Thank you to the new subscribers and all you guys that share it and you leave me comments. I like that stuff. We're in it right here. Looking for a springtime release on the Next Generation shirt. So be looking for some things coming in the near future. I'll have news on that. And I hope you enjoyed the ride. And I'll get with you in the next one. Ultimate Expression in 2023.